Hi friends, I'm Karoline and you're listening to Calls and Walks, the podcast. Now grab a cup of tea and get comfy or put your shoes on and come outside for a walk. Either way, welcome to this week's episode. Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's podcast episode, in which, as you probably read from the podcast title, or episode title, I'm gonna talk about how to enjoy your own company, which is actually easier said than done. But I want to talk about it because it's something that I've struggled with for quite a lot of time. And I just want to give you a few tips on how to really enjoy being alone and how to take time for yourself. And yeah, let's get straight into it because I have a few tips. And the first one is it's gonna feel awkward. So the best thing you can do actually is embrace it. And like I said, it's easier said than done, but embrace it, embrace being alone, embrace who you are, and that's something that being alone is gonna help you with. Embracing who you are is something you can master while you're alone. Just you and your thoughts and nothing else, nobody else, no music, no movies, just you and your thoughts, and you really figure out who you are. The second tip I have is start slow, because you see it everywhere on social media. You have the solo days and everything, and there's things like booking a Pilates class, and there's things like going to the concert alone. But if you're not used to being alone, and if you're not used to spending time on your own, it's gonna feel incredibly awkward, and you're gonna feel lonely. Because you're gonna feel lonely sometimes, even if you're used to it. But by the way, the night is so gorgeous. It's 7:38 p.m. and I'm outside recording this episode, and it's absolutely gorgeous. There are stars and the moon, and she looks absolutely mesmerizing. But back to the episode. Take it slow. Don't make your first activity alone something big, something public. My tip is stay out of the public for a while. If you're starting to be okay with being alone, just stay away from the public for a while, because you're gonna feel judged, and it's gonna feel awkward, and you're gonna feel awkward, and you're gonna feel lonely, and you're gonna want to go home. Because if you walk around and everyone you see are with friends and you're alone, you're gonna feel lonely. And for it to be an enjoyable time, you have to make peace with the fact that you can be lonely. So what are some of my tips that I'm also going to talk about? I can tell you that in next week's episode, I'm going to tell you some solo dates ideas, and I'm going to talk a bit more about that. But right now I just want to give you tips. And my favorite thing to do alone is going to the library, because it's something that I'm used to going alone to, and because I'm not really alone there, it's just me and the books, and I don't really have to sit in silence with myself. But my third tip is sit in silence with yourself. Sit in silence and let yourself be bored. Let yourself be in a room or in the shower, anywhere, with the lights off, maybe, in a complete silence, just with yourself for as long as you want, for as long as you need, and let your mind shut off. Let it just flow too, because you have to know yourself. How long has it been since you did something you enjoyed? Since you did something that you know you enjoyed? Since you took yourself out, since you got your favorite thing to eat or something? Do that. Being alone doesn't always have to be something really, really big. You don't have to go to the world tour of Taylor Swift. You can just go out for 30 minutes. You can grab something to eat and you can go home. But the whole ride there, the journey that you went out and you did things for yourself, it's gonna make you, it always makes me proud. It's gonna make you proud, especially if you're not used to being alone. And I'm not used to being alone. I mean, I am when I'm outside the house, and I'm used to going to things alone. But still, it makes me so anxious to think about going to the cinema alone. Even though that, it's something that people tell you to do, and it's fine, it's fun, and I cannot wait to do that one day. But somehow, right now, just apologies. It's been a rough week, but sometimes you don't feel like going to the cinema alone because you see the couples and you see the friend groups. And do you ever stand in anywhere and you pass a group of people and you feel so judged? You take out your phone and you just scroll randomly through your gallery just to look busy and not alone. It's okay that happens, because you see it on social media, you see people in big friend groups and you see them spending time with everyone, and you never really see anyone alone. I mean, now you do really. It's becoming a sort of trend to enjoy your own company, and it's really good. It makes me so happy when I see people being proudly and just, I'm okay with myself. It's so nice. It's such a difference from the air quotes trend that is always here, the hating yourself. And one of the best quotes I ever heard is that you can't hate yourself into loving yourself. You can't speak to yourself so badly that you're gonna start to like yourself. My next tip is really related to this, but it's just speak to yourself kindly and be nice to yourself. I know, it's easier said than done, believe me. I've spent most of my teenage years with negative self-talk oozing out of me. I said so many things to myself that I would never say out loud. But now I'm my own best friend, and it's hard sometimes. It's hard to not fall back into the bad talk, and it's hard to not beat myself up. But I figured out that the positive self-talk does actually more than the negative one. Telling myself that I'm proud of myself and that, I'm gorgeous, I'm doing this, I got this, It's doing a lot more than telling myself that I'm stupid and lazy and that I could never ever make this. Be your own support system, and it's gonna get easier to be alone, because you won't be alone. And I read a quote about 20 minutes ago, and it was that you can't be lonely if you like the person you're alone with. It makes me giggle, because it makes sense. You can't feel bad about being alone if you like who you are, if you like who you're alone with. You have to be your own friend, or you have to at least tolerate yourself. You have to respect yourself. And I know that being alone and the self-love thing is so hard. Oh my god. It's so hard, and it takes me off guard every single time I practice self-love. But it gets easier. Okay, it gets easier one day you'll just realize that, oh, I didn't insult myself over this. I have my own back. And to really enjoy your own company, you have to be your friend. You have to treat yourself like someone you love. Which is also a quote from my favorite person ever on the internet, Spencer Barbosa. I'm gonna tag her in the description box. But she's amazing. She is the self-love queen. She's true and honest on her media, and she uses the platform the way I think you should be using it. She has about 2 million followers. She just hit that, I think, today. And she's amazing. Just check her out. She has had a lot of impact on my self-love journey. And I'm so glad I found her. But treat yourself like someone you love. And I mean that with words. I mean that with actions. And I know that it sounds hard, and sometimes it sounds stupid, like, oh come on, I'm gonna look so weird standing in front of a mirror telling myself that I'm pretty and telling myself that I love myself. And but if it's not true, it doesn't have to be true. Not right away. I've found out a funny thing, and it's worth mentioning. The brain doesn't know the difference between a joke or not. It's why jokingly talking about killing yourself makes you miserable. It makes me miserable. That's why I don't make those jokes anymore. I stopped making those jokes because they're so easy to take seriously, and your brain doesn't care if you joke or not. Your brain just hears, oh, I'm stupid, and it's so easy to insult yourself. But the moment I realized that I spoke to myself the way I would not talk to a friend, I knew that was wrong. And I'm not gonna tell you that, oh yeah, the next day I woke up and I told myself I love you, and then I went out for my favorite drink. No, I didn't. Actually, the next day I did the same thing I was doing for years. I spoke badly to myself too. And I distracted myself with everything possible just so I didn't have to think about what was on my mind. And surprisingly enough, I'm gonna tell you that it's okay. That you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get out and feel absolutely marvelous when you get out of the house alone. And you don't have to ditch all the music and the movies or anything that you do when you're alone. You can take it slow. And it's a tip from me. Take it slow. Really, really take it slow. Just go out and grab your headphones. Okay, listen to a podcast. But look around and maybe take the headphones off when you reach a point and sit down and just stare and let your mind be. I'm not gonna say shut your mind off. I'm not gonna say let your mind flow. I'm just gonna say let it be. Let your thoughts be the way they want to be and the way your mind feels comfortable. And I had a thought. I was having coffee or something, and I was alone. I was sitting at the table, and I was wishing that, somebody could be there, just so I can sit with someone comfortably in silence with. And I stopped myself, and I looked, at myself. And I realized that I'm comfortable to sit in silence with too, I'm good enough to make myself comfortable being alone. I'm good enough to sit in silence with myself. And don't take this wrong, just because you can't sit alone with your thoughts right now doesn't make you not good enough. But I'm just gonna tell you that it's okay to not be perfect at self-love or anything, because it's a journey for a reason, and it's a journey, really. And it's a long journey. It especially depends on how much time you spend doing the opposite. If you spend years and years hating yourself, and if you spend years and years beating yourself up over everything and avoiding your own company, and not ever talking to yourself good, it's not gonna go away overnight. But it's okay to take it slow. And I want to talk about this in another episode, about the self-love and self-respect, and how I think that it's not entirely true that you have to love yourself before you love someone else. But right now I'm not talking about that. I will talk about it, but not in today's episode. But what I want to tell you in the end, as we near the end of this episode, enjoying your own company is not a thing that you wake up and you decide randomly and then it just sticks. It doesn't work like that. I wish it would. I wish you could just choose a lot of things and they would just, happen, I wish you could just wake up and I love myself, and never ever treat yourself badly ever again. But that's not how it works, and maybe it's good. There's a fun video that I saw, and it made me think, if you got everything you wanted right now, if you got the perfect body, your perfect job, the perfect mindset, would you know how to take care of it? I don't need an answer. I don't want you to automatically come up with an answer, but just think about it. If you got everything you wanted right now in this exact moment without any of the growth that you would go through, would you be able to handle it? Or would it be too much and you just wouldn't know what to do with it? But my last tip for enjoying your own company is make a list. Make a list of everything you enjoy. Make a list of everything you think you could enjoy, and make a list of things you don't think you would enjoy, and make a list of things that you don't know if you would enjoy. And maybe sometimes whenever you feel like it, just go through the list and think about it, and maybe do some of those things. Figure out what you like, figure out what you don't like. Take some time loving yourself and taking care of yourself, and take some time figuring out who you are, and it's gonna be a bit easier to enjoy your own company when you know who you are. I think I'm gonna end the episode right here, just to give you a little bit of thought. But before you hang up, listen to the outro. There's links to all my media, and in the description box there's the link to Spencer Barbosa, and there's links to my Spotify and my YouTube and my Instagram and my personal Instagram and everything. But listen to the outro, and I hope I'm gonna see you at the next call. And this was today's call. I hope you had a jolly good time, because I did. And before you hang up, check the description box for all the links to my media. And if you liked today's chat, consider joining me for next week's Call and Walk. Bye, friend.